Welcome back everyone to another episode of Vegetarian Cooking with JJ. Today I'm going to be making very delicious Greek-style cauliflower pancakes along with some very delicious vegan tzatziki to top it off. It is going to be a mouth-watering dish. Let's head over to our kitchen and get cooking. First of all, we'll get our stovetop set to medium and bring a pot of water to a boil. I washed this cauliflower and now I'm going to chop it up. You don't want to chop it up super fine or anything. You just want it to be more manageable pieces for the pot. Here we go. Now we're ready to add our cauliflower to the boiling water. Add some salt. Add our cauliflower. So we want them to be cooked but not mushy. My steamer isn't big enough to steam all of this cauliflower. This is why I'm boiling it. And I will likely be using 3/4 of this cauliflower. So now I'm just going to drain the cauliflower. There we go. I cut a piece from a large cucumber to the size of my hand. I'm just going to cut it in half. And I'm going to scoop the seeds out. This is where most of the water content is. You can add this scraped out bit of cucumber to your soup stock bag in the freezer. This time I chose to go with a more hands-on approach, so I'm going to be grating the cucumber by hand, but you can use your grater tool on your food processor. But since it's just one cucumber, it's no biggie here. So I'm going to put our shredded cucumber into this strainer over a bowl. We're going to want to squeeze out all the extra liquid as much as we can. And we're going to let it sit there and drain out. You can use a cheesecloth alternatively. That will give you a little bit more control in the squeezing process. This is the liquid that has come out so far, but I expect a lot more liquid to collect in the bowl. So I'll let it sit and drain out. Now on to chopping our Spanish onion here. And I'm going with 1/4 of the whole onion. So that comes to about 1/2 cup. For this recipe, we're going to be using our Violife vegan Feta style block. And I'm going to be using our Dia mozzarella style shreds. We're going to be using our Bob's Red Mill egg replacer. So we'll get 3 tablespoons in our dish here. You need 2 tablespoons of water per tablespoon of egg replacer. So I'm adding 1/4 cup of water plus 2 more tablespoons of water. There are 4 tablespoons within 1/4 cup. We'll give it a nice stir here and we're going to want to let it sit to thicken up nicely. I washed and dried a whole bunch of dill here. I'm going to chop it all up, but I'm not going to use all of it. Sometimes it's nice to have some extra herbs prepared so that they're ready to go for other recipes. So here we go, our lovely dill. Now we're going to juice our lemon. I mentioned before, it's always best to have the freshly squeezed lemon juice for recipes. And as I mentioned before, if you have a warmer lemon, you can get more juice out of it, so keep that in mind. Sometimes people pop them in the microwave to get more juice out of them quickly. Poke a couple of holes in them and heat them up only for 10 seconds. I'll chop off the ends of the garlic and we're going to chop up these 4 cloves. This is for the main part of the dish. Hippocrates, for those of you who don't know, was a physician in ancient Greece, and he promoted the use of garlic to treat parasites, digestive problems, fatigue, and respiratory problems. Also in ancient Greece, the OG Olympic athletes consumed garlic, and it is said that garlic was probably the first performance-enhancing agents. In many different countries, garlic has been used for medicinal purposes. Some of these purposes include lowering cholesterol, reducing the chance of blood clotting, preventing cancer, and beating the common cold. Garlic is known to be a stimulant, and there have in fact been medical studies on the various health benefits of garlic, but I'll allow you to explore that on your own spare time if you're interested. I'm not giving any medical advice. However, I will say this: whenever I feel the beginning of a cold coming on, I microplane some raw garlic, stick it to the back of my throat, and it clears it up in no time. The same goes for oregano oil. However, make sure you take this treatment not on an empty stomach. I'm gonna microplane these 4 cloves of garlic, and this will be for our tzatziki. Of course, you can personally adjust the intensity of the amount of garlic you would like to have. I'm putting in 1 cup of our vegan yogurt to get our tzatziki started. Now I'll mix in our microplaned garlic. Garlic is most effective in its raw form, and you will notice that we're using the raw garlic in our beautiful tzatziki. I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of our lemon juice because I like it lemony. You can probably get away with 1 if that's your preference. Now it's time to add our dill. You can eyeball it, see what looks good. I'm adding a little bit less than a 1/3 cup. It's probably more close to a 1/4 cup. I gave our shredded cucumber a final squeeze before I incorporate it in. The less water, the better. Mix it up nicely. Now, if you want a thicker vegan tzatziki, it is hard to find a thick vegan yogurt currently. One of these days I'm going to experiment with the vegan yogurt, pop it in a cheesecloth, wrap it up atop of a strainer, on top of a bowl, and we'll see if it thickens it up. And we'll see if it drains out the liquid without compromising the product. We'll add some pepper. And I'm going to add in some olive oil. No more than 1 tablespoon should be fine. So mix it up, and then we'll be popping it in the fridge. In the fridge it goes. I got our big red bowl here, which provides better contrast with the cauliflower. I'm just trying to show you the quantity of cauliflower I'm adding, more or less. So that's about 1 cup. I got another cup we're gonna add, a 1/3 cup. You have to estimate because of the gaps in between. So if it's not chopped, account for that. I really wanted to stick with a hands-on approach today, so I'm just breaking it up with this fork. And I'm gonna use my hands to break it up further. I'm gonna toss in our onion here, and the chopped up garlic. I have a 1/4 cup of matza meal, which is just crushed up matza. So we'll see if we need to add more. So here's our Violife vegan feta. I'm going to cut it in half. I'm going to use half of this block. So break it up with your hands and crumble it in. Put some love into it. And I'm going to add a 1/3 cup of our vegan mozzarella shreds. We'll mix it up with a fork. I'm going to add in some salt. Grind in some pepper. I'm going to add a 1/3 cup of dill. And we're going to add our Bob's Red Mill egg replacer. Mix it in nicely. You may find that you'll have to add some more matza meal as you go. I measured out another 1/4 cup of matza meal. You can add it gradually and see how it goes. I'm just adding part of the matza meal for now. And we'll add more if necessary. By mixing it like this with a fork, we maintain the texture. We have more control over the texture. Whereas when you just pop everything in the food processor, it will give it a very different texture. You'll have less control that way as well. We'll get our stovetop set to medium, get our pan hot, add some oil to our pan. I'm using avocado oil. I'm just gonna add a splash of lemon juice in the mix. A little bit more matza meal. And some salt. Yeah, you need the whole 1/4 cup. See, it helps when you use your hands. You can really feel it, how much you want to add in. So you're gonna want to form patties. Let it cook. Remember to flip them. You want them to be a nice, even golden brown. And it's highly recommended that you use a non-stick pan. Here are my other 3 that I got prepared to fry up, but for now I'm too hungry and I want to try them, so let's go over to our table. So we'll get them plated here. Pat off some of the oil. Okay, I'm nice and cozy here, as you can see, and I'm excited to try it out, so I'll take some tzatziki. You can see the melty vegan cheese too in there. Woo! I don't know how much you can see. Very delicious. You can also add some spice on top, which I will for the other 2. I forgot about that. I highly recommend trying it. As for kosher for Passover cheese, I'm not too sure about that, but you can make your own probably. You can probably make your own. Find some kosher cashews. Anything in a package must have a kosher symbol on it. Just an FYI for those of you who are not familiar. There you have it, another recipe to add to your recipe booklets. If you like this video in any way, shape, or form, hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to comment below. Let me know if you're going to try this recipe, or once you tried it, feel free to comment below and let me know how you made out with it. Keeping things interesting in my kitchen and in yours. Bon appetit!